Howdy, friends, and welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with Bob. I'm Bob, and I'm not a professional chef, but I do love cooking. And one of the things I love even more than cooking is eating what I've prepared. Of course, I also like to watch others enjoy what I've prepared, and tonight we're having company. Tonight, my sister-in-law and her son, my nephew, will be stopping by for dessert. Now, LaDonna has challenged me to prepare an updated version of a dessert item I definitely love, the churro. I love churros. And today, I'll be preparing red velvet churros with a cream cheese filling. So, let's get right to it. Today's dish is a simple one, including these items that you probably already have in your refrigerator or in your larder. Over medium-high heat, in a saucepan, we add 2 cups of water, then pour in about 1/4 cup of sugar, and last, very important, 4 tablespoons or about 1/2 stick of unsalted butter. Then we'll stir this until it comes to a gentle boil. Now, once everything is melted and the liquid starts to boil gently, we're going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour and right away 1 cup of red velvet cake mix. Now we want to stir this and stir this and stir this until it becomes really well incorporated, leaving it over the heat. Nothing worse than the flavor of raw flour. So, after a few seconds, you'll want to turn off the heat and continue to mix. This dough's very thick and it's going to be quite a workout, but be sure you continue to mix it until all the white lumps have disappeared and you have a nice, consistent red dough. Now that the flour and the cake mix have been worked into a consistent dough, we're going to add 2 eggs and then we're going to stir till they're completely incorporated. If you're cooking right, cooking is always a learning experience. And here's something I've learned. Next time I make a dough this thick, I'm going to use the stand mixer. How is this thick goo going to be transformed into the serrated, tubular shape of the classic churro? Ladies and gentlemen, enter the pastry bag. Rule of the day is goo control. To keep the goo inside the bag, you roll the sides of the bag down, carefully add the goo, and then, as the goo accumulates, you roll the sides up. A little bit at a time. And then, we add more goo. Now here, a carefully folded pastry bag is your best friend. You want the pastry to end up on the cookie sheet, not in your hand. A down angle will help be sure that these are nice and fat, because we're going to want to fill them later. And so we have nice square ends. A pair of kitchen scissors is a great way to cut off each one. And so, voila! There they are. Our churros have all been extruded onto a baking sheet in advance of deep frying. First things first, in order to set them up before we fry them, they've got to go into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. Okay, so the churros are in the freezer, just chilling out, man. They'll hang out in there for about 30 minutes, and now is the perfect time to whip up our cream cheese filling. That's right, cream cheese filling. Cream cheese filling stuffed inside a crunchy cinnamon and sugar crusted churro. That's enough to make anybody say, "Ah, my God." Our filling starts with 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. How do you soften cream cheese, you ask? Well, with a fork, of course. Okay. Once the cream cheese has been softened, we switch to a spoon for mixing purposes. We'll add 1/2 cup of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon of Mexican vanilla. Of course, we're making churros, man. Now we'll use the spoon to mix this all together. So don't forget, you're the cook, and your most important job is to taste everything. Needs more vanilla. Yeah, baby. That's it. I can take a bath in this stuff. Now that the churros are frozen and the grease is hot, we just scrape them off the pan one at a time and drop them into the hot grease for 3 to 4 minutes. Hear that sound? That means your grease is at the right temperature. Remember, cold grease soaks in. Hot grease seals your food. We're going to cook these about 4 at a time. So next, we just scoop them out of the grease and put them right onto a couple of paper towels so they can start draining. Don't let them drain too long. You want them to be warm when you put them in the dredge. After they drain for just a moment, right into the cinnamon and sugar. Now you can make your mixture any way you like. I like mine a little extra cinnamony. So about a half a cup of sugar to about a teaspoon and a half of ground cinnamon. Don't those look good? Say yes. So if there's a trick to making these, here it is, a soda straw. Now I like to use a McDonald's straw because McDonald's straws are just a little bit bigger in diameter. And the idea is to poke these right straight through the churro, which makes the perfect size hole for your cream cheese filling. Ta-da! Now that all 4 of them have been prepped, I've already put the cream cheese filling in our piping bag, and I'm just going to ever so gently fill every one of these. And I like to put it in from both sides. That way we know the cream cheese meets in the middle. You got to have cream cheese with every single bite. So, in answer to LaDonna's challenge, there's my version of red velvet churros with cream cheese filling. And now, there's only one thing left to do. I have to taste them. Oh man, is that good. It's crunchy on the outside. The dough, just a little gooey in the center, like a really good fresh churro. And the cream cheese filling perfectly balances with all the sugar and cinnamon on the outside. I can't wait for the guests to get here tonight and try these. In the meantime, keep watching our Facebook page and YouTube channel for future episodes of In the Kitchen with Bob. We'll see you next time. Oh. Oh.